Alright, today in Kiwagat's House of Magic, we're going to be making some changes to SIG. River Cut Hands. Yep, this is my discard deck. Somebody posted in one of the comments on the SIG video, I've never built that commander. And I thought, well, why would you? What does he do? Why do I have him as my commander? What's the point? So what am I getting? Blue-blue, black-black hybrid for a 1/3 Merfolk Rogue. Those are not good stats. 1/3. He's got enough toughness for in the very early game. If somebody wants to opportunistically attack with a 1/1 or 2/2, I've got a blocker. And usually those opportunistic 1/1, 2/2s, sometimes they have some attack trigger, or not attack trigger because that would already happen. They have some combat trigger when they deal damage to me that I don't want to happen. So I've got a decent early blocker. I also have, at the end of the turn, if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, I may draw a card. So as the game progresses, as my opponents hit each other, if they do 3 damage or more to each other, then at the end of that turn I'll get a card. At the end of my turn, if I've successfully dealt 3 damage to somebody, or multiple people, I may draw a card. It would be really cool if you got a card for each opponent that had lost 3 or more life this turn. If it said that, at end of turn, for each opponent that lost 3 or more life this turn, you may draw a card. That would be sweet. But that's not what he says. He says, I'm a cheap dude, I come down fast, and I'll let you play blue-black. Okay, that's good enough. Let me play blue-black, Monsieur Sig. So, this is one of the meanest decks I've built in a while. I mean, this is fucking nasty. But if we're playing a higher power game, sometimes we do want a higher power game, then I think I would be more interested in playing SIG. So I've got Rankle in here. I've got Insight. I've got 2 cards that directly go after green, which is funny. So instead of Rhystic Study, to bring down the number of game changers I have, I'm actually going to be taking out 1 game changer, and I'll show you which one when I get to him. I don't believe the deck has any other game changers. Oh, Notion Thief. Notion Thief is a game changer. So right now I think he has 2 game changers, and I'm going to take 1 out. So he's still bracket 3. But if I took out Notion Thief, technically he would be bracket 2. But the way I plan to play him, and the cards that are in the deck, he's not bracket 2. Nope. If I sat down and said, this is the bracket 2 deck after I took out Notion Thief, and I started playing him, people would say, you don't know anything about the brackets, do you, you lying son of a bitch. So Insight, instead of Rhystic Study, 2 and a blue whenever an opponent successfully casts a green spell, draw a card. Yes, it does say target on the paper, but the new Gather ruling, the new Gather wording is all opponents. Whenever any opponent casts a green spell, draw a card. And it's not may. You have to do it. Don't forget your trigger. Got Tiny Bones, 3 and a black. Tap him. Every opponent throws away a card. So instead of the specters that had to connect, they had to smack my opponents. They had to punch them in the head. Just a little poke. Look, I did 2 damage. Poke. Look, I did 1 damage. Poke. Instead of that bullshit, I'm going to sit back and, okay, I'm going to activate this dude, and all of you are getting rid of a card. No more of this attack bullshit that doesn't really work anymore. This is a key card in this deck. This card is absolutely fantastic. So if I'm making my opponents throw away cards, they will have less in their hand. So during their upkeep, they get to count the number of cards in their hand, and then any creature that's bigger, they bounce back. So if through them casting their own spells and playing their own lands, and me making them discard, if they start the turn and they've got 2 cards in their hand at their upkeep, any creature with power 3 or greater gets bounced back to their hand. Now, yes, that can bite me if those creatures have fun into the battlefield abilities. That can definitely bite me, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Crystal Shard to bounce things, Rankle's Prank, 4 black, everybody choose 1 or more, everybody throws away 2 cards, everybody loses 4 life, everybody sacks 2 creatures. Nasty. Geth, Lord of the Vault. Hey, people are discarding. They're going to have stuff in their graveyard. They're going to have creatures and artifacts and nice things that I want. 4 black for 5/5 intimidating zombie. Black to get started. X, put target artifact or creature with CMC X. So I have to spend the CMC for an opponent's graveyard into play under my control. Tapped. Because of the foil here, it's a little hard to read the tapped, and sometimes I forget about that. Then that player mills the top X cards of their library. So I get more things to pick from. Siphon Mind, this is a card that fell out of favor a few years ago. When I started playing Commander, pretty much every black deck was running Siphon Mind, and then all of a sudden, one year, nobody was anymore. And I don't know why. Maybe they weren't putting it into the precons. 3 in black, each other player throws away a card, and you draw a card for each card discarded this way. Yes. Painful Quandary, 3 black, when an opponent casts a spell, they throw away a card or lose 5 life. Choose your pain. Rexiel, when he hits somebody, he's got Island and Swamp Walk. So I'm probably not going to send him after the mono green player. But dude playing islands or swamps, he's got to watch out. Because when Rexiel connects, I can play an instant or sorcery from his graveyard without paying the mana cost. And then it gets exiled, so you can't use it again. Okay, this is coming out. I realized I don't really need a 10 mana game-changing piss off the whole fucking table card. I'll put this into one of my Astruzna decks because everybody there is playing bullshit, and Jin-Gitaxias is major bullshit. So I'm going to take him out, even though he's cool. I mean, 10 mana, 5/4. He's flashy though. Beginning Viren step, I would draw 7 cards, and every opponent's maximum hand size is cut by 7. So let's take him out, and we'll put in the Necrogoyf for the sake of argument, because I already know what I'm taking out for the Informant. So that's one change to my nasty Sig deck. Is there anything else really worth talking about? I mean, Smallpox, yeah, okay. Junji, the Midnight Sky. 3 black for a 5/5 flying menacing dragon spirit. If I still had, what was it? I can't believe I can't remember his name now. What was his name? He was a 5 colorless, black, green, white, Centaur Spirit, and I can play 1 creature out of my graveyard each turn. Started with a K. Anyway, that was Tribal Spirits. It stopped working, but if I still had the deck, I would put a Junji in there. Because when he dies, each opponent throws away 2 cards and loses 2 life, or I can rip a non-dragon creature card out of my graveyard, throw it into play, and lose 2 life. And I think he's the only dragon in the deck. Pretty sure he is. Darkness. Prevent all combat damage it would do this turn. Fog. Mind Slicer. Oh, this is fun. I've got a Hibernation in the deck. So there is a possibility that I also have high market, so I can sacrifice creatures at will. I can cast Hibernation, and everybody picks up all their green stuff. And then if I send Mind Slicer to the high market and he dies, everybody who just picked up all their green stuff has to throw it away. That's pretty fucking dirty. But that is a line of play that is open. Heaven Go Lich. Okay, I'm going to be discard. Some of the stuff makes me discard. Rankle makes me discard. His Prank makes me discard. Necrogoyf makes me discard. So I'll be throwing things away. So I'd like a way to get them back, if they're usable, if they're tasty, if I want them. Heaven Go Lich. 3 black-blue. 4/4 zombie wizard. Spend 1. You may cast target creature card from graveyard this turn. When you cast it, he gains all activated abilities of that card until end of turn. Now, he's from an older set. He's from Dark Ascension, so he does not say, I may spend mana, Azo, or mana of any color. So if I'm trying to do this out of an opponent's graveyard, unless they have black, blue, or artifact creatures, if they've got green, red, white, or multicolor, tinged with green, red, I can't take them. Heaven Gold Lich says, yeah, I'm not touching that shit. Nope. Black or blue, baby. That's all you get. All right, Heaven Gold Lich, thank you very much. Fuck off. Liliana Heretical Healer. Words of Waste. Okay. So I've got Sig here. End of each turn, if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, I may draw a card. If I have Words of Waste in play, I can either draw the card or make everybody that isn't me discard. And if I have Guess Grimoire, whenever an opponent discards, I may draw a card. If I stole the mana, I can spend it through Words of the Waste, and instead of drawing from Guess Grimoire, I can make everybody discard, which triggers Guess Grimoire again. So, until I decide that I want a card, or I run out of mana, I can keep doing that until nobody but me has cards in hand. Or I have no mana, or I've already discussed it. Okay, Elder Fang Disciple, that's the other Nezumi informant. She's the same damn thing. 1 and a black for a 1/1 Elf Cleric. So he's a Rat Rogue, she's an Elf Cleric, they both cost 2, they both 1/1, they both come into play, and every opponent throws away a card. Simple. Clean. It does what it does and says what it does. So what else? Where's the card, that other card I'm going to take out, that I know I'm going to take out? The other thing Sig lets me do is I was going to take Flare of Denial out, because the new direction of the deck, I don't have that many blue creatures. I don't. But I've got Sig. So in a pinch, if somebody is going to cast something and I don't like it, if I have Flare of Denial in my hand and Sig in play, I can sacrifice him, because he's blue. So there is that. No, there's Hibernation. You know, look, return all green permanents to owner's hand at instant speed for 2 and a blue. There it is. I'm going to take that out. Is there anything else worth talking about before I take it out? I got 2 Tiny Bones. I got Trinket Thief, and I've got Bubble Burglar. Trinket Thief, beginning of each end step. If the opponent discarded a card this turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Well, card draw. So I can, instead of drawing a card, if Words of Waste is in play, I can spend 1, and everybody throws away a card. I still lose 1 life, but I'm progressing my game plan. Okay, here's the other game changer, Notion Thief. And he's really mean in this deck because, okay, if he's in play, did I already passed Rankle? I already did. I'm not going to go look back and look for him. He's in the pile. So, if Rankle's in play and I attack and I connect with somebody, I can do the everybody loses 1 life and draws a card. Well, if Notion Thief is in play, all my opponents get to lose life, but I get the cards. See, he needs expertise. Sword of Sin and Steel. I'm leaving 2 swords in. I'm leaving in Sword of Sin and Steel because it allows me to destroy artifacts, which is something that is the deck really can't deal with them otherwise. I didn't put that much artifact destruction. I'm kind of relying on the discard to get shit out of people's hand, so they can't cast bigger artifacts. Can't cast anything really oppressive. But Sword of Sin and Steel, if I do attack and connect with somebody, I can destroy an artifact and a planeswalker. The other sword I'm leaving in is Sword of Feast and Famine, because untapping my lands is cool and making somebody discard is kind of the theme of the deck. I'm not sure if I want this. I'm not sure if I want Hostage Taker. Something the deck needs that I don't have, because the version I want Megrim 7th edition foil, and it's about €30. They have an 8th edition foil, and I would like to see that in person, if at all possible, before deciding I'll go with that instead. But I like the art on the 7th or 8th edition better than the other potential arts for Megrim. And if I get that, I'll probably take the Hostage Taker out. She doesn't have flash, She is black-blue, so Flavor Denial can turn her soul into a counterspell. 2/3 comes to play, exile target artifact or creature until... Oh, okay, so maybe I better not, because that's another way of dealing with artifacts. Huh. Okay, blame my last. So I'm going to take out Sword of Light and Shadow. I realize I don't need it. I've got Havengo Lich, I've got Junji, I've got Volrath Stronghold. I really... As cool as the sword is, I just need another creature. So I'll take it out. And yeah, it's a beautiful Judge foil. I love it. It'll go somewhere. Trust me. It's not going to sit in the art binder very long. So Sword of Light and Shadow. 3 to cast, 2 to equip. Equip creature gets +2/+2, protection from black and white, and whenever it hurts somebody, the creature, well, deals combat damage. I gain 3 life, and I can raise dead. I can return a creature from a graveyard to my hand. But as I said, with the other effects I have that do that, I don't really think Sword of Light and Shadow is completely necessary. But more discard is. I don't... Maybe now I have enough discard. When I was goldfishing it, the first round, it was great. I got Ravenman out. I got a Elderfang Disciple out. I was doing good. And then the second trial, I didn't pull anything that makes my opponent's discard for a few turns. And it kind of sucked, because I need to start making my opponent's discard as quickly as possible. Something else that I might... Migrum, what it does is whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 2 life. So Migrum would be just perfect for this deck. Darkness, maybe I don't need it. I'll play, and then I'll figure it out. Dimir Doppelganger, that's another way of getting creature. This card is cheap. This card is dirt cheap to buy, even in foil. And when I played it in an early version of SIG, the genie, he's like, what is that? Because he'd forgotten about it, I guess. And he was surprised that for 3 mana, 1 black-blue, you get the Shapeshifter, that for 1 black-blue can exile a creature from a graveyard and become a copy of it. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah, and it's a junk rare. It's a crap rare. Nobody wants it. It's one of those things that's very, very good in very, very specific decks, and this is one of those specific decks. The thing is, because she's already in play, when she pulls a creature out of the graveyard and turns into it, any enter the battlefield abilities don't trigger, because she's already in play. But she's still whatever the hell the creature is, and sometimes it's pretty goddamn good. So that's the change to SIG. I'll shuffle up later and give it a go and see how it works.